travel anywhere
It's
they
like the
want.
pot. People are saying to me, well, if we legalize it, we could tax it. I said, no, no. Why make work for yourself? Just legalize it. Just eliminate the DEA. No, what you do, you transfer everybody from DEA to Secret Service. They obviously need some corrupt people in there. So, and you eliminate the DEA.
So take
so you
the
make
DEA and maybe, how about use them for something good? How about use them for some sort of an educational program or something like that?
I can't think of one.
Well, they wouldn't
the
work
DEA.
because they're basically cops. You'd
Yeah.
have to give them another cop job.
No, they're criminals. They're beyond cops. They're not just cops.
You feel like the DEA are criminals.
They're total criminals. They're total criminals. And if you're not in the DEA. You have to transfer out because you can't have one bad cop and
now, when you think you mean they're really corrupt?
They're totally corrupt. When we don't hear about the money remember all the money they used to find with the marijuana?
Yeah.
And now they're saying they're selling more marijuana than ever. We don't hear about the money anymore, do we? We don't hear about the millions of dollars in drug money
that gets confiscated.
That gets confiscated sitting in the court until trial. You don't hear about
what
that.
What do they do with that money?
They split it amongst themselves. And they take you notice, and also
they don't have to account for it?
No.
No, like when for real, like if
for real, they put it in their pocket, they split it up.
100%. There's no doubt about it.
I'll name an instance.
Okay.
I won't name the guy's name, but he's a friend of mine from Vancouver. And he was down here. He's working for the Hells Angels. I can say that name because people know.
Right.
And his job was to deliver the load of BC Bud, which he drove down in a U-Haul trailer,
right,
to a safe house. And then he'd drive home. And he got ratted out. Someone ratted him out, Could have been one of the angels, too, you never know, because they control a lot of the borders up in Canada. Anyway, the DEA arrested him in front of the Grauman Theater. Arrested him, just him. And they handcuffed him, and they had the big trailer of weed, which he showed me. He showed me the weed. And then he gets taken to jail. And he's in jail, and they won't let him use the phone or anything. And all they interrogate him, and they say, where's the safe house? So he gave up the safe house. And then about maybe 2 hours later, the jailer comes in and says, okay, you can go. Kicked his ass out of the jail.
They just let him go
and
took the money.
They let him go. They took the money. Took the weed.
They took the money and took the weed and just let him go.
And let him go. And that's one guy. That's one guy.
Is that what's going on now?
Yes.
That's what these raids are all about? It's just a money grab?
No, the raids are for newspapers. It's for the press to let them know that so they can get their budget. They get their $1 billion budget.
You know what's disturbing is that the money that could be given to them rightfully through taxes, the money that could be given to the state, is pretty substantial if they made it legal.
Yeah,
quite substantial. Because people aren't going to really grow it themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
Some people are.
That's what I'm saying. But you should be
able to.
You don't need to invent a new system. We got a system in place. It's called sales tax.
Yeah.
If you open a store, you pay taxes.
Exactly.
And that's all you do. If you want to buy a bag of weed, you buy a bag of flour. It's the same thing.
And you should be able to grow it like you grow fucking tomatoes. You can grow your own tomatoes.
You can.
You should be able to grow your own weed.
You can. And the only trouble is that because of the greed involved, that's why it's still illegal. Because not only the people that the hemp would replace.
Yeah.
The forestry, the
well,
paper
that's the most
industry.
ridiculous thing is that hemp isn't even psychoactive, and it's illegal.
Yeah, because of the paper industry and the pharmaceutical industry for the pain relief. Yeah. There's a show on TV yesterday about the marijuana pain thing, and they can't come up, the pharmaceuticals cannot match pot for what it does. They cannot, and they've tried and tried and tried. They cannot match it.
Well, you got to think that there's plants that we have a symbiotic relationship with, and we know that there's a long, long relationship that people have to eating cannabis.
Yeah.
And we know that eating it where it doesn't even get you high, when you just eat the plant, it doesn't get you high, is incredibly good for you.
That's, by the way, the juice. People are juicing leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
And for cancer.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to, when I find a...
And the leaves, you
plant.
don't smoke the leaves anyway, right? So when you juice...
I used to.
You used to smoke the leaves?
Yes.
But it's not as psychoactive, right? It's not as powerful?
There's a thing about sort of like a memory,
Mm-hmm.
body memory. So if you're
Right.
smoking, it's like you're smoking a bad joint. Or we used to joke about it and say, this weed was only good for selling to military.
Oh, that's funny.
Because then if they got caught, they get tested. There's nothing in their blood, so they would be okay. But no, weed, I don't think it should be taxed other than just decriminalize it. Just leave us alone, you know. And then the economy will blossom.
You'd be the